Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. And we are so lucky to have our weekly expert and TV star, Laura Morby. How you doing, Laura?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing very, very well. Thank you very much for being a part of this. I enjoy our conversations every week, especially because you have a long history in real estate, much like I do. So we're gonna go back and we're gonna talk about just how fun it was to be in real estate in like 2005, 2006. So
Oh,
before
yeah.
the crash, do you remember just how fun it was? Everybody was making money. It's just a good old time.
Oh, yeah. If you were a realtor, a loan officer, you were just swimming in money. You sneezed and you sold 5 houses. And also, like, homeowners were just, cashing out getting all these crazy HELOCs and buying Mercedes. Like when people make jokes about people getting HELOCs and buying Mercedes and taking European vacations. I saw that. I sold HELOCs. So, and I know what they did with it, and they told me what they did with it. So it's just, yeah, people were just living it up.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny because I mean, I was in real estate. So about that time, we only had like 7 or 8 houses, but you'd go to real estate meetups and they were jam packed.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I was going to a meetup, the same meetup I went to like '03 that would have 40 people in it. Might have had 150 people in it in '06.
Yeah.
Everybody was making money. I don't know if it was the same in Arizona, but where I lived in the Bay Area,
Mhm.
people were flipping contracts because they
Yeah.
were buying, like, where I live is a condo community that was built in that time.
Mhm.
And people were flipping the contract 3 or 4 times before the condo was built and making 50 grand a pop. It was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Because it was just, I mean, especially if you're going to talk about new builds too, like that's something that it was almost impossible to get. You'd have lines out the door when they were announcing that they were going to release a couple more lots.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a lot. So,
And then as we get closer and closer to the peak, to keep the party going, what I saw is the debt structure started to change, right? You, instead of getting 30-year loans because interest rates were going up, you would get adjustable rate mortgages and interest only. And then you would get the really toxic teaser, the 2 and 28 where you had a teaser rate and then it would reset. And that last year was a lot of fun, but it was all built on bad debt.
yeah, I mean, yes. Yeah, I'm laughing at the type of loans that people got that anybody thought was a good idea or could, oh my gosh.
Yeah, remember those days?
Yeah, of
It was
course.
fun until it wasn't.
Oh yeah, I mean, and what's funny is, oh my gosh, yes, crazy, just unhinged almost,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know?
the reason I brought this up today is, much like you and your husband, Olivia and I are accredited investors,
Mhm,
which means we get pitched
mhm.
lots of, invest in my syndication, invest in my multifamily, all of these things, right? And
Right,
I got a pitch the other day that screams single family '06. So let me kind of take the pitch and see if it's any similarities to housing, because I think it's exactly the same.
yeah.
First off, the person pitching it to me, oh, hi, little one. Is she right there?
She said hi.
Hi, Corbin. Are you just off camera?
Yeah,
If she wants to come on camera, she can, but if not, it's okay.
she's okay.
All right. Well, sorry, I got distracted by a cute kid. So the pitch I got was, hey, I'm buying this really big Class A. So let's be clear, Class A apartment, hundreds of units at a 3.5 cap,
Okay.
which in multifamily speak is a very low cap rate.
Mhm.
Let's just say it's fully priced or fully valued. The first line of the pitch was, I expect cap rates to go down to 2.75. I'm like, really? I mean, so first off, that's crazy. Second off, it seems like single family, because don't you remember single family? Everything goes up. I'm buying now, I'll refi later. It doesn't matter.
Right.
That's like the first red flag. Do you remember that?
Yeah, of course, yes.
Okay, so now the coup de grace. They are getting what, in the multifamily space is called bridge debt, meaning very short.
Yeah.
They are getting interest only, very
Yeah.
short, and they're going to be forced to refi in 2 or 3 years. I think it was 3 years on this one, right? And again, they keep pitching, well, cap rates are going to go down. Cap rates are going to go down, and they have a bad debt structure. This just feels, we're we're not doing the same thing in resi or residential, but it seems like the sins and the stupidity in '06 have now moved to multifamily. And I'm like, what are you doing? You're going to lose all of your limited partners' money. It's crazy.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that is what was happening in just single family residential. I mean, that, to be honest, that's exactly what my dad did. My dad did that same exact thing. He was like, I'm gonna build this big, $2 million house, and I'll get a construction bridge loan. And he was told, hey, this is gonna continue to appreciate. We're selling these faster than we can build them. You're gonna be fine. And so as he's building it, he had it for sale, nothing happened. And then by the time he had to refi to permanent financing, the house was worth a fraction of what was into it.
Yeah.
And then back then you can mess around with appraisers.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Oh, hey.
he just got another appraisal until someone gave him what he wanted. Got permanent financing for 2.3 million. And then that was in February, and by July, the house was worth 600,000.
Oh,
Like tanked,
yeah.
like in the toilet.
Yeah.
So like he was lucky enough that he didn't lose it from the construction loan, but he ended up losing it after the fact.
Yeah. And the reason this is so bad is this general partner who's out raising this money is probably going to get it. And again, I did some math on my daily financial news this morning. We assumed 500K NOI. We talked about 3.5 going to 2.75 or going to 4.5, which I think is far more likely.
Right.
What's going to happen if it goes up to 4.5 is essentially there's going to be two options in 3 years. One, he's going to have to go back to the limited partners and raise an additional $2.3 million, which is possible. Or two, he's going to have to sell the building, and basically after transaction costs, he'll walk away scot-free. The LPs will lose 100% of their money.
Yep.
Folks, be very careful when you're anytime you assume, right, your model assumes price appreciation.
Yeah.
I want you to remember the housing recession, the great housing recession.
Yeah.
Two, if your model is built on those assumptions and horrible debt structure, interest only, short term, don't you dare touch those. You are going to light your money on fire, and it's going to be painful. Would you agree?
I 100%. Yes. This is like a double whammy of bad.
Yeah, it's just, and you're going to, and again, this is the crazy thing. You are going to feel so good day one. Oh, I'm a part of this Class A apartment in this fancy state. It's all brand new, 98% occupied. I'm a genius. 3 years later, you'd be like,
terrible. Yes.
Where'd my $100,000 go? Where'd it go?
100%. Yes. This is that makes me like almost feel like my heart is racing and I'm gonna have a panic attack and nothing's even happened yet. But yes, don't make a massive investment or any sort of investment based on future market predictions that you don't know for sure.
Let's just go. Remember our conversation from Zillow last week or the week before. Mm-hmm. What was the number one thing they did wrong? They overpaid.
Yep.
This is the same thing. Oh my God.
You make money at acquisition. That's just the rule, like how well you buy whatever it is, determines whether or not it's a good investment or not. So
yeah. And if you overpay at point of acquisition, which again, this syndicator was proud of, hey, I got the deal. I overpaid. I outbid Wall Street. Well,
oh gosh.
Really? That's
oh no.
That's a good thing. Really? You're the highest bidder?
I know.
And then he's gonna
terrible.
Oh, that's just bad, right? And then again, people are going to be so happy to be a part of it. And then 3 years from now, again, it might work out. If cap rates go from 3.5 to 2.75, you win. I don't know what the odds are, Laura, but they're not great.
Yeah, they're pretty low. Yeah, I mean, I was going to say that. I was like, maybe, and then I was like, no, it's like slim to none here,
Yeah. The only thing I can say is
chance, but probably not. So.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, think about that. The 10-year treasury is at what, 1.5?
Mm-hmm.
At one point, do you go to 1 point? At what point do you take zero? I mean, if you have an apartment building making 2.75 or a treasury at 1.5, I think I'm taking the treasury, given all the other risks in apartments, let alone if the 10-year goes up to 2.25. Are you kidding me?
What a nightmare. I'm nervous for this person and I feel bad for everyone who's investing, so.
Well, you got to feel bad for everybody investing because the general partner is not going to have any money in the deal or very little. They're going to get paid fees up the wazoo for acquisition and management. They're going to be fine. But every LP, I mean, listen to the daily financial news. The last 5 minutes, we do math and the LPs lose 100% if the cap rate only goes to 4.5.
Oh. Nothing like a little something to make you sick. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Good thing that you pay attention and you right away. Absolutely not.
Run.
I mean, can you imagine if you got excited about that? My gosh, terrible. So
yeah, folks,
terrible.
This is happening across the board. I see many deals that are like this now, because again, the last couple of years, what we've had a surprise cap rate compression, which means they've gone from 6 to 4, they've gone from 7 to 5. You made a lot of money.
Yeah.
But again, the Fed made you. The Federal Reserve took rates to nothing. They threw gazillion dollars in the market. You got lucky.
Right.
The Fed is extracting themselves from the equation. You're not going to get lucky twice. So
no, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And again, if you need a reminder, go look at see what happened to residential, because that is the same thing that's happening in multifamily today, right, Laura?
100%. Yes, it's exactly the same. Exactly the same.
Awesome.
So be careful.
Be careful. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay. It's real life. It's perfectly okay. So Laura, how can people follow you? Because you have an amazing Instagram page.
My Instagram is just my name, Laura Morby, no spaces. But yeah, I would love that.
Awesome. Thanks, Laura.
Thank you.